Okay, one more second. Okay, I appreciate y'all being patient. You had to grab me a cup of water. I am back. I will give you guys a few seconds on my video. Okay, so this is where we're gonna start off from. I appreciate everybody being on. This is going to be a quick call just to kind of give you guys some ins and outs of our new designer. Our new designer, so you have two different designers. You have the new designer, which is now coded designer. You have the old designer, which is coded designer legacy. So this is going to be about the new designer. And let me just give you a quick heads up. Anything you could pretty much do in the old designer, you can pretty much do in a new designer. The basics like adding your own overlays is still there. We've just given you some extra add-ons. We've made it easier. If you have a last minute event, we have built-in overlays. If you some people used to say, hey, I was designing an overlay, I saved it, added to my event, and then I went back and I sent it to my client and they didn't like the logo on there. Well, you had to redesign your whole overlay. Now you can actually save your overlay when you create it. You can go back and you can edit it. So there's a lot of little things that we've added to make sure people were happier with the overall design aspect. One of my favorite things would be is you can actually use it easier on a mobile device. A big thing about that, so if you have an iPad, turn a landscape, go ahead and open in Designer. You can easily do Designer from your device, where before the old Designer, it didn't work too well on your web browsers. So kind of keep that in mind. Anything you could do, you still can do. It's a new look, it's a fresh look, it's a little bit more inviting look, but it's still the same old thing. You're still going to be able to do the same old things for your clients. So let's just jump right into it. And you may see me, I'm just adding some people in. Okay, someone send a message real quick. Can everyone see my screen just to make sure? If I get one person to send a message. Cool, thank you. Thank you, 305 Miami in the house. I love it. Okay, so on the top of the screen, you do have the option that says designer. We're gonna go ahead and click designer. Oh, and one other cool thing is with this new designer, if you're using GoPro wired, you can now do 4K videos. So that's actually something new that you can only do with the new designer. So one difference you will notice is that when you do click the designer, it does say log in. You don't have to put in username and password. It's going to log you in from inside of your Touchpix account. But this is the way that the new designer links to your account. You will simply click log in. And when you click log in, it will take you to the first page of the designer. So this page is a little bit different. Generally, what you would see on your old designer, where you'll be going to template on the left or uploads to do everything, we've pretty much just made it a little bit different. So the first thing I will say is the template sizes are similar or the same, but the numbers have changed. So whereas before, your template 1 was your portrait, your template 2, I believe, was a square, and then your template 3 was your landscape. We've changed it, and we changed it for this reason. It just makes more sense for them to be together. So your first 2 templates are now going to be your portrait long or your portrait. You're going to have your square template, and then you're going to have both of your landscape templates. So we've just put them together so it's a little bit easier to see. We've also added right here above them the exact template sizes. So if you know what template size you used before, you would just match it to the current template size that we have right here. A really big part of this is Just kind of know your template size, and it's easier. It's right here for you. You don't have to hit a little button and have it hover. It's right here. So if you have someone make your overlays for you, you can easily tell them 1072 by 1440, and then they will be able to know exactly what template they're trying to do. So in your old designer, we had a few things. So as you went through and you went to templates, you had a drop down that you would have to switch to photo for photo templates, slow-mo for slow-mo templates, boomerang for boomerang templates, and video for video templates. So we've simplified that just a little. This may be changing in the future, but currently, if you were to click photo, you would have your photo templates. So it would choose whatever overlay you put in for photo, it would go ahead and put it for photo. If you choose slow-mo boomerang video, this will actually add a template for the remainder of the items. So if you're doing a photo booth and you want to do GIFs, video, boomerang, this will drop down slow-mo / boomerang / video will add a template for all other functions besides photo. So keep that in mind. All other functions besides photo is going to add a template for if you choose slow-mo, boomerang, video. But of course, this is what you're going to use for your 360. Next, you have a second drop down. That second drop down, you're going to then choose your event name. When you choose your event name, that's how you decide which event is going to. So this is super clean, super simple. You're going to choose what you're doing. So again, we're doing a 360 where we're going to choose slow-mo. You're going to choose your event name, and then you're going to choose what template size you plan on using for that event. So your first 3 steps are already done. So all you're going to do now is hit use template, and you can go ahead and do use template, and it actually takes you directly into the actual designer. So now I'm going to answer your first question. I make my own overlays in Canva. I buy them somewhere. I get them on Fiverr. I don't know what you do. You use one overlay for every event. Well, if you already have an overlay, it is super simple to add. So if you look right here, so if you go right here on the top, you have a few different options. So for this, all you're going to do, I'm going to start with the easiest one. You go to manage design. You're going to manage overlays. So you're going to have a few different options here. You can load it from the editors you've already done. You can delete from the server, things that it knows. But generally, you're just going to hit upload overlays from computer. So when you click upload overlays from computer, you will go ahead and click there. And then you would just go ahead and choose your overlay from your computer, and you would hit upload. So once you hit upload, it's going to grab that file. So this is the file that you already have. This is one of our Touchpix files. On your left side of your screen, under the word stickers, you have these little file areas. So as you see, we grabbed the overlay. It made a little folder for overlays. This will generally show any overlays you have used before or you have brought in to the new designer. You would simply then the last overlay on the bottom is the last one you clicked. If you were to click that, it's going to add that overlay directly to your event. And once that's added, you're just going to pick one of the 4 sides. You're going to grab the 4 sides, and then you're simply going to stretch to fit. And boom, you have added that overlay that you've made online, that you've gotten somewhere, that you already have. And all you have to do on your top left, there's an option that says save to event. If you click save to event, that overlay is now added. So if you make your own overlays, if you download, if you buy them from somewhere, it is super simple to add overlays that you already have to an event. All you're going to do is go to manage design, manage overlay. You're going to choose upload overlays from the computer. Once you upload that overlay, you're then going to choose your overlay drop down here, and then choose that overlay you just had and stretch and pull and add it to your template, and simply hit save to event. And this is going to save it to your event. So now you can refresh your event on your device, and that overlay will show. I'm going to show you one more cool thing. Same difference, you do manage design. Let's say you want to add a person's photo. You want to add a logo. Same thing. What I did was I grabbed the Touchpix logo, We go ahead and hit open. And so now on the left side, you see it says stickers. So now that sticker that I just grabbed, I will click it. It would add it to the screen. You can now move this sticker around where you want this, where you see fit on the screen. You can add it. You can change the size. Again, all you're going to do is you're going to hit save to event. Now that logo is saved to the event. So one cool thing I'm going to show you while we're right here, you can actually manage presets. So as you see this right here, we've already made the overlay. So let's just say you want to save it. So you can go ahead and hit save preset and you're going to name it. We're going to name it 4th Touchpix. So now this overlay is now saved in the Touchpix memory database. What I want to do from this point, I want to kind of start over for a quick second. Now you see on the top, you again have these options. We're going to hit return to Touchpix, and it's going to start us all over. So now your client calls you and they say, hey, oh my God, I don't like this part of that overlay. Well, now you can go back to designer and you don't have to remake that whole overlay. Again, I made very small changes, but we'll just go ahead and choose that same event. We'll choose the same template size and we'll hit use template. So as you see, we start off with this blank template. You can go to manage presets, load preset, and when you go to load presets, these are all different overlays we've done. And as you see, remember I said it adds it to all 4 areas. Well, now I can take that slow-mo overlay and then I can click it. It will re-add it on the left-hand side. You see it has how it added that overlay back. And now if I wanted to edit anything, I can simply go back and edit it without having to redo it. So now you have a place to where you can add wording, you can add logos, you can add photos, and you don't have to go back and redo all your work. We've made it so that it saves locally to our servers so that you always, under your login for the new designer, you can save and you can load overlays. So I think that's one really, really cool thing about this. I'm going to back up one more time and I'm going to go back to the designer again. So again, as we've already done this a few times, we're just doing some repetition. We're going to throw it. We're going to go make sure we're on slow-mo because we're doing it 360. We're going to make sure our event is chosen. And we're going to make sure we choose which template we want. We're going to use template. Now, let's say you're brand new to Touchpix. Let's say that you're not that person who likes to design things, or you just have a customer who calls you and say, I need you here in 30 minutes. You don't have time to make it. You don't have time to buy an overlay. Well, this is the cool thing. So now you can go to manage design. Under manage design, there is an option for design library. If you click design library, it now has, we have 160 built-in templates. Now, again, just because this one is a baby shower template, it may work for a different event. So definitely feel free to scroll through, use these for whatever type of events you like. Really play with them. Everyone has a few different templates in it, whether it be a photo, a slow-mo, or boomerang. The templates will vary, but generally most of them are available for each function, but the templates can vary. So one big thing, let's say we scroll down. So right here, there's a drop down. You can actually choose what kind of event you're having. So let's just say we're doing a back to school event. So these are the different overlays that we have for a back to school event. So if we click this one right here, it's going to then add that overlay to it. So keep this in mind. If you were to use template 4 instead of template 3, template 2 instead of template 1, this same overlay or overlays that we have available will fit to size for each template. We've made these so that they stretch to size and they fit the templates. If it shows there, you will be able to use it there. Each one of these pieces on these templates are actually stickers. So if your client, if let's say you just like the black border, you can now remove all of these stickers and just use the black border. If you click right here on your left under stickers, we've actually broken down the pieces of the overlay. So say your clients say, ooh, I really like these pencils right here, but I don't so much like, I don't know, these folders on the bottom right corner. Well, you can take this and you can move it, or you can click the options above it and you can delete it. You can then click here and duplicate the pencils, or click to the right and you can bring in more pencils. So you can do whatever you feel is good, or you can actually go in and bring in your own stickers to really customize it. Also, any of things like this with the wordings. So this right here is an image, but you can also, again, add your own wording. So on your top, on your left side of the screen, there's an A. If you click the A, this is your text bracket. You can then Charles's. So we'll do Charles's. And this is exactly why I don't make my own overlays. Don't laugh at me, y'all. So you get the point. You can customize it. You can add the wording to letters. A lot of the different overlays. So let's say I would go manage design, and I'm going to choose one for a wedding, because weddings are pretty popular. And see, there's actually a scroll down, so you actually have more options. So these are weddings. I generally like black and gold things, so we're going to choose this one right here. And this one has some wording right here. So this is where you would put the bride and groom's names. So, you know, you can then add that name. You can just double click and you can then change. You can add whatever makes it look that way. So the ones that have text, you can just click, and you can click the text. It'll give you an option to edit. The edit box comes up and you can edit as you see fit. You can move these text fields around. You can delete them. And then you can use those overlays as you please. So that is one of the coolest things that you're really able to do, is that we've given you a lot to be able to add, to save, and to do right within the designer itself. Some other cool things about the designer. If we're going to look right above here, there's an option to switch to 4K. So let me give you guys the heads up on this. This is one of the biggest topics that we come across in the Facebook group. People accidentally hitting switch to 4K, or they're choosing them before. So I'm gonna go back to Touchpix website one last time, probably not one last time. We're gonna hit designer. When you're choosing your overlay, a few of you may have noticed when you choose your event, there's a button here that says 4K. If you click this 4K is should only be used if you're using GoPro 10 or 11 wired. What's going to happen is the 4K videos, it will then allow your GoPro to record in 4K. If you don't hit the 4K button, what's going to happen is every time you start to record, even if your GoPro is set to 4K, it's going to revert it back to 1080p. So you have to click this option right here, or you have to click switch to 4K on this screen in order to be in 4K. If you choose 4K while using a GoPro 10 or 11, it will not upload any videos to web galleries. The files are too big. It's not going to happen. It blocks that option. You cannot share by text or email. Your only sharing options will be to use Scanpix or to use AirDrop. So keep these things in mind. If you choose 4K, but then you go and you record with your iPhone will pop up and tell you must be using a GoPro to record in 4K. So then you will have to come back into Designer and add your overlay again, but not hit 4K in order for your event to work. So if you ever see that option, this is where you're going to change that at. Okay, so we've done a little bit for the 360. We've showed you how to add and to load and save overlays. We've showed you how to add stickers and add overlays, and also the new designer. I'm going to go back, and this is an option here as well. We're going to hit save event and template, and we're going to go back and we can reselect it. So this takes us back to the beginning. So we're going to go ahead and hit photo, and this is for if you're doing a photo booth. So some of you may remember in the old designer, which I'm going to go here really quickly, Designer Legacy, we had a ton of different options. So one difference on here is once you click template on your left-hand side, it gave you some more options as far as what to do. So you had different size strips, They're all 3 strips, but it's different sizes. You had a set of 2 photo strips, 4 photo strips. We just gave you a ton of options because you can only use what was here. Also at the same time, you have the 3 photos, so you had a few different options. What we did with the new designer was we simplified it. We gave you an option for strips. We gave you an option for a landscape photo with 3 photos, or we gave you an option for a square photo, a landscape, or a portrait. So you have 5 options for this. So these are going to be your most used template sizes. Either you're doing strips and you're cutting strips for your customer, it's 3 on each side. You're going to have a landscape photo with 3 photos, or you're just going to have a one take, a square, a landscape, or a portrait. So I'm going to show you really quickly a few things. It works the exact same way. So we're going to do use template. If anyone remembers, we went to manage design. We're going to go to the design library and see what's available. If we go down to design library, it's going to bring up all the different options we have. And as we go through these different options, we're going to choose holiday. We just came out the holidays. So we're going to choose snowman. So what it does is it takes that snowman design and it creates a photo. So just remember, a lot of people haven't done photo booths yet. If you do strips, this is 2 separate pictures that are cut in half, which is why you have a design on each side. But as you go down here, as you see the wording, you can then go down here and you can check it. You can edit it. So you can do Touchpix. Holiday party. Let's see how that looks. Again, I do not make overlays. So again, and then as you see behind it, it has the same wording, but in a different color. And that's going to make sure you can actually see those words as you're doing it. But I'm going here and I'm messing things up. But as you see, the same thing works. If you want to add a design, we have them made for each of the different style templates. So whether you're doing strips, a photo, or a 360, your design library will have options to add whatever you're looking for birthdays, for strips, for whatever type of event you're doing. Now you may say, hey, Charles, I like to make my own templates. And right now, if we go back to select event and template, give me 1 second. We go back to select event and template. I would like a landscape, but I only want to make it, I only want 2 photos. I don't want to do 3 photos. 3 photos takes too long. So this is something we're actually working on right now. We're adding a little bit more into this. So more to come in the future. But as you see, one of your options right below photo is custom template. If you were to hit custom template, you can hit landscape and you can do use template in front. So if you make your own template, say you want 1 photo area here, 1 photo area here, you can actually drop down custom templates on your left-hand side. And you can say, hey, I want 1 photo right here. And I want my second photo. Make sure you choose photo number 2. I want 1 right here. So now if you make your own template, you can actually create your own template and then you can drop your photo areas right where they are. So again, the good thing is you don't have to match exactly to what we've pre-made these photo areas. You can custom put your photo areas wherever you would like on your template. So you would make your template, you will upload it. Then once you upload it, you would then put your photo areas where they belong. So super, super convenient. It's a great way to be able to make your templates and make them more the way you want them to look, where you want the photo areas to be at. So I think this is a really hidden gem right here that a lot of people don't know about. And as you go along and you have a ton of events, most people don't want every single template to look exactly the same. So this gives you a little bit more flexibility within your events. So let me see. I'm trying to see if I forgot anything else. So we're gonna go back to save template. Right now, and if you're doing a strip, it's the same kind of focus. but it's some of those things that we're definitely still pushing to work on. We're trying to make everything better. The reason we want you to know about this new designer is we've put a lot into it. So you as Touchpix customers, the one thing we always want to do is make sure we're innovating, make sure we're giving you more, make sure we're able to say, you know, for this subscription, you're going to get this and you're going to keep getting new things. And this is one of those things. The old designer, there's only so far it could go. It was great 2-3 years ago, but as we go into the future, you know, we may love the old designer, but the new designer has more room to add things, more room for people to say, when people say, you know, you may not have said it, but someone said, hey, I can't use the designer on my phone. I'm going to an event and trying to make an overlay. So, you know, we listen to everything people say. Even you saying that you don't want to go away from the old designer. Our eyes, our ears are always open. We look, listen, and we talk about everything. But we do want to make sure that we show you that we're always giving you fresh options. We want to make sure to keep you on top of the photo booth industry. We want your booths to do things that other booths can't do, and we want to make sure that we make it simple and we have those options included for you, and you know, as part of a Touchpix customer. So we appreciate you all. We want to say thank you, and just definitely thank y'all for being on this call. I'm about to open it up. I'm about to look one more time, make sure I didn't forget anything, but I'm going to open up questions at this point. If anyone has any questions, you all can feel free to jump, put your hand up. Well, let's do it that way. And we will go over some Q&A so that I can answer any questions or show you anything that you would like to see. Let me see what we got. And we'll start with 305. You can unmute if you like.
Hi, how are you, everyone? I'm Maria here at 305. Like,
hey, Maria.
Oh, hey.
Hi.
I've got three. Hi. I've got a happy new year to all. I've got 3 questions.
Let's go for it.
Okay, 4K. I finally got the wired 10. Woohoo!
Okay.
I finally got it. Okay. When you say 4K, what does it really do? Like, what's the function of it?
It's going to give you a, let me see. Miss Tia.
It's going to give you 4K output. So it's 1080p, which is the standard output for Touchpix if you're shooting at ultra high quality and all of your settings are intact. But 4K gives you, adding a 4K template and shooting in 4K gives you 4K output.
So better quality,
better quality
pixels. Yeah,
correct.
Better quality. Okay. Thank you.
But I'm gonna interject really quickly. I've noticed just doing wired GoPro is going to already give you a little bit better quality than regular wireless. So that's going to be one benefit, which is why I've never jumped into the 4K, because my video quality is already great, but the 4K is a great option if you want to offer it.
And then there are also things to know when you shoot it in 4K. So with 4K, you only have the sharing options of AirDrop available, and you're only able to use ScanPix or AirDrop. And then also the videos do not upload to the online gallery when you're shooting in 4K because the file sizes are so large. But we do have a cloud sharing storing page in the app, so you can upload those videos to Dropbox or Google Drive to share that album to your client. But they do save to the in-app gallery, and they do still save to your camera roll, but they do not store to the online gallery.
Oh, yes, I heard. Thank you, T. I heard you guys say that. Okay, next question. Now, when it comes to doing the photo booth layouts, I can be at an event, and for any given reason, I will want to change my layout. I don't have to go to the application. I can do it from my phone. Can I do that?
So if you want to actually, you mean like add a new overlay or change what you're doing?
Or edit it.
Yes, with the new designer, yes, you can do that from your phone.
From your phone or my okay, thank you. Thank you. And my third thing, I know I've taken everybody's question, I'm sorry. Time. because I started to do like photo booth with Touchpix. I did it for the still picture, but when I was doing, I couldn't get it to go with the GIF. And somebody put something on the site the other day. I must have been doing something wrong.
So
In
Explain
other
a little
words,
bit what you mean. You said you weren't able to do what with the GIF?
I couldn't get the layout. I couldn't get the overlay. It wasn't showing up with the GIF. Am I making any
Okay.
sense?
okay.
Okay.
So I would just for that question, just reach out to me offline. You know,
Okay.
messengers, just shoot me a message, or anyone
Okay.
have questions. I'll just throw this out for everyone. Support@touchpix.com. Feel free to reach out, but reach out to me, Maria, and we'll get you taken care of tomorrow. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. That's
No
all.
problem.
Thank you, Tia.
Okay, no problem. Thank you for your questions. So I see in the chat someone asks, is there a place in TP with GoPro 10 that will contain the unrendered files even in 1080p and 4K output? So yes, in 1080p, every time you do an event with Touchpix, a temporary Touchpix folder is created in your files, in the files folder on your device. Every single time you have an event, it creates a temporary folder on your device, and that folder contains the non-rendered files as well as the rendered files. But those files are only available while the event is still active. If you delete the app and reinstall at any point during your event, that does take away all of the old files, and it will only have the newer files there. But as long as your event is active and you haven't deleted the app and reinstalled during the time of your event, you will have those files accessible there.
On the
What is
screen,
the
I put
processing?
the
Go
Files
ahead.
app. That's what the Files app looks like on your phone. You will click your Files app. You will click on my iPhone or on my iPad, and then you would then go into your Touchpix folder, and it's going to be in your non-rendered, and that's where you're going to find those files. But they're only there until, as Tia just stated, they're only there until you close your event.
And what's the processing time for 4K with GoPro 10? So it's pretty much the same with GoPro 10 and GoPro 11. It varies. So I've experienced processing time with the 4K file, and it was about 30 seconds. So it really depends on how long is your recording time, how many effects you add onto that file, because when you're shooting in 4K, you're creating a very large file. So I don't recommend you shooting in 4K if you're at a venue where you know that the reception, etc., is kind of shaky, because that's going to also factor into processing time. If your equipment isn't necessarily set up, or you don't have the storage needed for shooting in 4K, because you may have an iPad and it may only have 128 gigabytes, and you already have a whole bunch of stuff on there that's taking up a percentage of that storage. So all of those things factor in. So I always recommend starting a new event with on a device that you have the maximum amount of storage for any of the recording options, whether it's 1080p, 4K, just a general best practice for events, because that comes up often in a group as well as on the support line. And I know we have one person who has their hand raised, and we're going to get to you. I just wanted to see the questions in the chat. Are we able to still use the designer legacy? Yes, for the time being. Once it will be completely phased out, we will make announcements and ready everyone for that process. But for the time being, yes, you can still use it.
And just understand is if for the time frame in which we leave that new designer, old designer up, there are no, if you say, hey, this isn't working right, the old designer will not have any future updates, and there may not be any fixes to anything that you may say is not working correctly. That will all go through the new designer. So it's kind of like end of life, but it's still there for you.
And who had their hand raised? Are we able to unmute them, or do you want to
Yeah.
put your question in the chat?
Alexa, can you unmute yourself? Well, while she's doing that, you can go to the next. You can go
Okay,
to.
what's new in the Touchpix update? So the update that was released, if you're in the user group, I outline what's available in the update. Is really just making the stabilization feature clear. We did a recent update and it was a little unclear to folks, and it didn't enable by default as we have in the past. It was the cinematic mode. But now with the new update, it has the stabilization general, and then it also has the cinematic mode. But now the stabilization goes back to being defaulted by goes back to being a default setting. And then the other update was that you can create different features for your event. So you have photos, GIFs, or bursts, boomerang, slow-mo, and video. The other portion of the update was just that you can now add those video effects to the bursts or GIFs features now.
Thank you. Okay, 1 second. You can Alexa, you can unmute yourself. Go ahead and try to unmute yourself again. Well, if you can unmute yourself, go ahead and just type it in the chat. And if anyone else has any other questions, please go ahead and jump in with those questions. 1 second.
Hello?
How you doing? There you go.
Yeah. I'm so sorry. My question was for when you're setting up an iPad booth with, you showed how to do like the custom template, but not how to upload your own overlay with the custom template for the photos.
Okay, so it's the exact same thing. So if you look right here, can you see my screen still?
Yes.
So you will go photo. You would then again just choose what overlay you're going to be using. And then once you get to the next screen and you have your template there, you will go to manage design, manage overlay, and you have an option to upload from your computer. And then you would simply grab that overlay that you have. It will add it to the left side of your screen in a little folder that's called overlays, which will show any overlays you've added to previous events. And
what about on the previous designer in the same process, what you're saying, there was the overlay and then there was I think the background screen, background color. So you'd be able to go in there and like customize the color or upload a separate image for that background and then the overlay. So how do you do that in the new designer?
Okay, so you're trying to do like kind of like removing background and adding a background?
Yeah, like you were able to add a background of like a different color or a different image and then your overlay on top of it.
Okay, generally that's not going to, well, for a photo you can use that. So that right now may not be an option here, but I definitely will add that one to the to-do list for this one, and I'll actually throw that to our developers this week for you.
So for photo currently, if you wanted the background, because like this template you're using right now, if it wasn't one photo, if there were 3 photos there, and then you wanted the background color to be hot pink with sparkles in it, and then you wanted to add an overlay, how would you do that with this one?
And that's why I just said right now, adding the background color is not an option here. So I'm going to go ahead and pass that to the developers for you.
Okay, yes, we need that. That's a big one.
But again, the old designer is still there for you to use.
Okay.
So you can still use the old designer for that.
Do you guys have an end date just so like people aren't panicking? Because right now I'm on this Zoom because I'm assuming a week from now, I don't want, you know what I mean, the old designer to be going, I have no idea how to do my.
It's not going anywhere right now. Don't.
Okay.
I mean, it's not going anywhere right now. But again, until this has everything that we could possibly think of from the old designer, and we're still taking, like, if you email support@touchpix.com, which if you email that to me, I'll get that. We push everything up. We have lists of everything we're adding. So we
Gotcha.
have, we have timelines that we're doing things throughout the year. So even though we don't add it right away, it may be more pressing things we've added that maybe we're fixing something or we're adding something that might be more important, but we definitely will do everything for you. And we won't just snatch it from you, I promise.
Okay, so you got my background color on the list, right?
I got you.
Okay, awesome. Thanks so much.
And, and someone asked about converting JPEGs to PNGs in the new designer. No, that's not currently a capability, but that is something that has been discussed to be implemented. However, there are a few different services that you can utilize for that. Canva, you can convert the file size, as well as Remove BG, I believe is the site, Charles.
Yeah,
Um,
remove
to
you would
be-
take it and it'll remove the background for you, and then you can save it and add that as a sticker. You there? I think we lost.
Yeah, we heard you.
Okay. You can continue. I'm sorry.
No, I was done.
Okay.
I was just trying to scroll through
Yeah.
questions. At this point, I believe you're done with the main portion of the presentation. So if anyone has questions, I see someone asking about sharing station issues. We can definitely assist you on support. Support is currently open, but we're going to keep the focus of this particular session specific to the designer.
And then we have a question. What's the best dimension to use for your iPad booth? I use 1240 by 1844, and the overlay was too big for IG. So this is something that you're gonna have to play with. I think they've changed them to more, is it more landscape or portrait now to you for like social media?
It's portrait for reels, and I think the stories, but the square template still works just fine, and as well as the landscape template still work just fine for Instagram and Facebook, etc.
Yeah, nothing's going to be a direct fit for any sizes. As we don't size our templates to be for Instagram and Facebook, because they've also changed those sizes within the last year. So that's not something that we're trying to do, but you would just, test it, make test videos and see what fits better for your marketing purposes. And you can even use different websites to resize your videos. So just know there are options that you can definitely do after your videos are made to make sure they're better for your marketing. And I'm gonna see if we have any other questions. When using slow-mo, it doesn't create GIFs or videos. We need to make a change. You have to change each one individually. Right, so right now this is changing all of them. So you were saying you maybe possibly want different, you want to be able to choose which one is going to. So for that, you would still use the old designer, but that is currently on our timeline where we're going to be possibly splitting those up to give you the option to just edit which one you want to edit within those. So if you just want to add a boomerang template or just go back and change your slow-mo template, you'll have the option to do that. So you guys are recording the Zoom.
We'll likely if it's a clean recording, then we'll likely post it to the group or link of the recording to the group, but we won't do individual emailing.
Yeah, and we'll probably somewhere put it on social media. So if you wanted a link to it, we'll have that option for the new designer. So again, it is 9:48. I want to give you guys the rest of your night back because I know some of you are putting your kids to bed. Some of you might be eating dinner, but if you have any last questions, please feel free, throw them in there. But I want to thank all of you for jumping on. I definitely appreciate it. This is Charles, of course. I posted the Zoom in the group today. So if you have any issues, please feel free to reach out to me, send me a message, or support@touchpix.com. We are here to help. Don't forget, we have 24/7 support. There's always someone online. If they don't answer when you call, they'll call you back when they're done with the previous customer. And lastly, we do have a link for one-on-ones now, but they're only quick 15-minute one-on-ones to give you a quick visual or help with what you're having an issue with. And that's touchpix.com/meet. But again, we want to thank you all for being on tonight and just for being a part of Touchpix. So any questions, please feel free to reach out to us, and you all have a wonderful evening. And I'll stay on for like 5 more minutes if anyone has any questions. Thanks for being on, Tia. Thanks for all your help.
Anytime.
And anyone, you all can feel free to unmute and ask questions if you like. And like I said, I'm here to answer anything you might have. Designer, towards designer.
Thank you, Tia. Thank you, Charles. Bye. Good night.
See you, Miss 305.
Bye.
Have a good one.
Bye, Tia.